Hi guys, and welcome back to the world of 28mm. I'm Adam, and in this week's episode we're going to be going back to plaster casting, but this time incorporating it into your terrain. Okay, so let's get down to the table and we'll crack on. So we have all our rock moulds made up and ready to go, my nice big batch here. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to think about how we're going to lay these down and what we're going to lay them out with. So in this case I'm going to use some grab adhesive. This one's from Wilko. It didn't cost me very much, but you can pick any of this up from a local hardware store. And to hold it in place while we're waiting for the grab adhesive to dry, we're just going to use our hot glue gun, and that will give us a temporary fix for our rocks. So first of all, as you can see here, we've got an archway to deal with. So what I've done is I've taken one of these long thin ones that's going to sit across the top there. Now what I've pre-done and pre-prepped is I've put, let's get that in shot, there we go. So that's the rough outline. So I want the rock to cut off at this wall here, and then we need the archway that I've drawn onto there to go around the archway in the doorway. So before I start gluing anything down, I'm going to take a Dremel and a hacksaw to this, and we're just going to pre-prep this area. Okay, so I'll get that done. I'll see you in a sec. Right, so we have everything prepped. I've got my first rock pre-prepped. So we've got a nice little archway there. I've chopped this bit off. Now the problem is when you mess with these rock molds, you can see there we've got a very smooth line. Now we all know rocks aren't that smooth. So what I'm going to do, just to add a bit more life to it, is I'm going to take some wire cutters. I'm just going to go in and chip bits off. By doing this takes away some of those smooth little edges and adds some extra contours in, so that when you put a wash down you'll be able to see them a lot more. Just do a couple more and then I'll show you guys on the camera. There. So now I'm not worried too much about that part there, because you're not really going to see that, but this little front corner here, we want that to be nice and rough, and you can see there I've taken, so let's get that, there we go, you can see some little nooks in there that I've just made, and that will just help blend the textures in together. So attaching it, so what we're going to do is we are going to use, as I said, some of our instant grab adhesive, and we're just going to put a couple of little blobs on. So I'll put one there, and one over that side. There, so we've got nice sort of pea-sized blobs on there. And I've got my hot glue gun here. Oh, it's very short wire. There you go. Got my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to put a blob of it in the middle. I can't do it on camera because of the size of the lead. There we go. So we've got, get that in shot, a blob of hot glue. And then we're just going to come in, line it up properly. I'm going to get in the way of the camera probably, and make sure that's all in place. Give it a good push, and that hot glue will help it hold in place, and there's our first rock. Okay, so just as a little extra, if you're having trouble with it gripping to the surface, to the substructure, what you can do is just take some toothpicks, or in this case I've got some, I think these are just like plain old sewing needles. I'm just going to use them as supports and just put them right underneath the rock mould, putting it right into the substructure, and you'll see there that will give it a nice bit of support, and we can leave that to dry. Okay, so I've got this whole section to get on with now. We're going to cover this up. For those of you who've been watching the series, you might well know what I'm working on here, so a little teaser for a future episode. I've also got a build buddy sitting over here as well, so yeah, we'll be there soon. Okay, so I'll get that done. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we have this all clad up now. You can see we've got the doorway here done, so we've got plenty of room for a miniature to fit into there, and I've taken it all the way down around the steps, which was very fiddly and time consuming, but it was worth it. So next up we've got to fill in all of these cracks. You see, like up here, underneath there, and there's some down at the bottom here. So basically we have to fill up these cracks. The best way to do this is good old poly filler. Now in an ideal world we would have some a little palette knife. I can't find mine. I don't know where it's gone. It should be in my little tools drawer, but I have no idea, so I'm gonna have to buy some more. So in the meantime, I do have some other clay manipulating devices. I've got these rubber tipped Wodger McDoberries. Okay, so all we're going to use those for, let's have that one. It's got a little scoop on it. So we're going to take our little device. We're going to take a bit on the end. Like I say, use a palette knife. It'll be easier. And then we're just going to come in and we're going to attack. Yeah, you can see that crack there. We're going to attack this crack there. So we're going to put some filler in. Make sure she stays in there. There we are. And then we will get one that we can just flatten it out and blend in all of those little gaps. So that's what you're essentially looking to do in this. Sorry, oh no, my head's not in there, that's right. You're really just aiming to fill in all the gaps between the rocks. Get our fingers in there. We don't have to worry too much if it gets on the rocks and things like that. What you can do if you feel like you've covered up any sort of nice detail that you want to keep, just take a wet rag and just wipe it clean. So I'll just get this bit done so you guys can see where I'm going with it. I could do with a flatter one really. Smooth that off and then push it into the crack in there and down there. Take that bit off the top so that we're not losing any detail on the rock. And there we go, that's the first half done. You can't see that very well on camera. I'll stick a quick picture up so you can get the gist. And, I'm going to go across this whole section now and get it all filled in. Okay, so I'll see you when it's done. And there you go guys, that's incorporating your plaster castings into your terrain. Now it is a little bit time consuming and it can be fiddly and it is very messy, but in the long run when you're finished you really do get some lovely results. If you next session we'll paint them up, but in the meantime I do have another tutorial. I'll put a link up in the corner, in one of them, whichever one it is, of how to paint your rock moulds using washes. So check that out, and that's it for this week. So like it if you've liked it, share if anyone else would like to see it, and don't forget to subscribe for the next episode. Have fun guys.